Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive?
Yeah, sounds fun.
So today we're going deep on AI.
AI. Okay.
But not just like, the AI that's like in our phones or self-driving cars.
Right.
We're talking about like true AI. That like sci-fi level intelligence,
The kind that could like outthink us.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
It is a big one and kind of freaky.
Definitely. A little bit freaky.
So our guide for this deep dive is this essay in Aeon by Luciano Floridi.
Oh, I've heard of him.
Have you read this one? It's called True AI is Both Logically Possible and Utterly Implausible.
Oh, wow. That title, that kind of says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really sets the stage. So basically, Floridi's saying that like superintelligent AI, it's not logically impossible,
Okay.
but it's also like really unlikely based on what we know right now.
So where do we even start with that?
Well, I think most people have probably heard of like the two main camps in the AI debate.
Right, the Singularitarians. Yeah, the Singularitarians who are like, AI is going to be super intelligent any minute now, watch out.
And probably take over the world.
Right. And then you got the atheists.
Who think that's never going to happen.
Yeah, they think true AI is like fundamentally impossible.
So where does Floridi fit in with all of that?
Well, that's what's so interesting. He's not really in either camp. He's kind of like, you're both wrong. Yeah, he challenges both of those viewpoints. Like, he calls out the Singularitarians for, focusing on these hypothetical threats,
Right.
but ignoring the real challenges that AI is causing right now.
I can see that.
And then he pushes back against the atheists. He's like, look, you can't just dismiss AI entirely.
Yeah.
Like, it's already doing some pretty amazing things.
So he's kind of like carving out his own space in this whole debate.
Exactly. He's got his own whole framework for thinking about AI. He calls it the fourth revolution.
The fourth revolution. Sounds intriguing.
It is. So
Yeah.
basically he says that technology, especially AI, is changing the very fabric of our reality.
Wow. Okay.
He calls it the infosphere, this world where information processing is happening.
I see.
And it's not just that machines are getting smarter, it's that they're becoming like active participants.
Participants.
Yeah, and shaping how we understand the world and how we interact with it.
So it's not just about like robots taking over.
No, it's bigger than that. It's about how AI is changing everything.
Okay, so if we move beyond the whole will AI become conscious debate,
Right.
what are the real challenges we should be thinking about?
That's the key question, right? And Floridi, he outlines 5 key challenges.
5 key challenges. All right, I'm listening.
These are challenges that are relevant to all of us.
Oh, interesting.
Not just like tech experts or philosophers.
Got it.
So his first challenge is making AI environmentally friendly.
Environmentally friendly.
And this isn't just about like the carbon footprint of data centers, although that's important.
Right, of course.
He's talking about using AI to solve like some of the biggest environmental problems we face.
Like, for instance?
Well, imagine AI systems that can predict and prevent deforestation.
Wow.
Or like optimize crop yields to reduce waste.
That would be amazing.
Or create smarter energy grids.
So we're talking about using AI to make a real positive impact on the planet.
Exactly.
That's exciting. So what's the second challenge?
The second one is making AI human-friendly.
Human-friendly. Okay, I think I get that.
Yeah, so this means designing AI systems that are like transparent.
So we can understand how they work.
Yeah, and accountable.
And make sure they're not doing things we don't want them to do.
Right. And also, they need to be fair.
Yeah, we've seen the problems with bias in AI already.
Right. So we need to make sure that AI systems don't perpetuate those biases.
And don't discriminate against certain groups.
Exactly. It's about making AI that works for everyone.
This is a lot to think about. What's the third challenge?
Okay, so the third one, Floridi phrases it in a kind of interesting way. He says, making AI's stupidity work for human intelligence.
AI stupidity? What's that supposed to mean?
Well, he's basically acknowledging that AI, even with all its potential, is still limited.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't understand the world the way we do.
Right, it can't really think for itself.
But the idea is that we can use those limitations to actually enhance our own intelligence.
Okay, I'm not sure I follow.
So think about AI as a tool. Right.
Okay, tool.
And it can help us see patterns and connections that we might miss.
Because it can analyze huge amounts of data.
Exactly. And those insights can help us make better decisions.
Spark new ideas, maybe.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's not about AI replacing human intelligence.
It's about AI working with us.
Yes.
Big.
It's about AI augmenting our intelligence.
Like that. Making us smarter, not replacing us.
Right, and ultimately making us more human.
I see, yeah. That's a good way to put it.
And that's really the core of Floridi's whole approach.
What do you mean?
He's not getting bogged down in those philosophical debates about, like, consciousness.
Or the singularity.
Right, exactly.
He's more focused on the practical stuff.
Yeah, how is AI already changing our world? And how can we make sure that change is positive?
That makes sense. So what about the other two challenges?
Well, they get even deeper.
Okay. Lay them on me. I'm ready for more.
The fourth challenge is about AI's predictive power.
Predictive power.
As AI gets more sophisticated, it's getting better and better at predicting our behavior.
Yeah, like what we're going to buy, what we're going to watch.
Exactly. And even our emotions, like how we're going to feel.
That's a little scary, isn't it?
It can be. And that's why it raises these big questions about, like, freedom and autonomy.
Right. If an algorithm can predict what I'm going to do.
Does that mean I'm not really free?
Yeah, that's a good question.
And so Floridi's saying we need to be very careful about how this predictive power is used.
Because it could be used to manipulate us.
Yeah.
So what's the fifth challenge? This is the last one, right?
This is the big one. Floridi calls it making AI make us more human.
Wait, how can AI make us more human? That seems a little counterintuitive.
I know, right? It sounds like a paradox.
It does.
But what he means is, like, AI isn't just about logic and data.
It could be about creativity and empathy.
Exactly. And connection, like human connection.
So instead of replacing human relationships,
AI could actually help us deepen them.
that's a powerful thought.
It is. It's about using AI to amplify our best qualities, not our worst.
And to create a world where technology actually helps us flourish.
Exactly. It's about making sure that technology serves humanity, not the other way around.
I really like that.
Me too. It gives me hope for the future of AI.
It's interesting, right, to think about how those 5 challenges actually play out.
Yeah, totally.
Like in the real world.
In the real world, yeah.
Like, let's take self-driving cars.
Yeah.
They're already on the roads in some places.
Yeah, that's a perfect example.
Right. Because they touch on, like, so many of those challenges.
They really do, all at the same time.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
On the one hand, you know, they have the potential to make transportation safer,
Right.
more efficient,
Mm-hmm.
which could be good for the environment.
Less cars on the road, yeah.
Exactly.
But then there's that whole question of,
Jobs.
yeah, like truck drivers, taxi drivers, all those people.
It's a big concern.
It is. And then what about the ethical dilemmas?
Oh, yeah.
Like if a self-driving car has to choose between hitting a pedestrian
Right.
or swerving and maybe harming its passengers.
How does it decide?
Yeah, how does it make that call?
That's a tough one.
It's a really tough one. And I think that's where, like, Floridi's second challenge comes in.
Making AI human-friendly.
Yeah, like we need to make sure that these systems are designed with,
Human values.
yeah, human values in mind and ethics.
Not just cold, hard logic.
Exactly, because that's not how humans work, right?
Okay, we're not just robots.
And then there's that whole question of, like, how self-driving cars might change us.
Change us. How do you mean?
Well, like, our sense of autonomy, our freedom.
I see what you're saying.
Like, if we become too reliant on these systems.
We would lose our own driving skills.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe even our sense of adventure.
Like the joy of driving.
Yeah, it's like that old saying, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Right.
Could our over-reliance on AI actually, like, make us less capable in some ways?
Yeah, it's definitely something to think about.
It is, and I think that's where Floridi's challenge about...
Nice stupidity.
Yeah, making AI stupidity work for human intelligence comes in.
Oh, right.
Like, we need to be mindful of AI's limitations, not just its capabilities.
It's blind spot.
Yeah.
The things it can't do.
And use those limitations as opportunities.
And develop our own skills.
Yeah, and our judgment, our critical thinking.
It's about finding that balance, right?
Totally. A synergy between human and artificial intelligence.
Where they complement each other.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
Let's talk about Floridi's challenge of making AI's predictive power work for freedom and autonomy.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big one.
Especially when you think about how AI is being used in marketing and advertising.
Oh, yeah, targeted advertising.
Exactly.
That can be super creepy.
It can.
Like, how did that website know I was just thinking about buying your shoes?
Right. That's AI at work.
It's kind of amazing, but also, like, kind of freaky.
It is a little bit of both.
Yeah, I mean, I get it from a business perspective,
Valuable information.
but it does make you wonder about privacy,
And manipulation.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, are these algorithms just trying to sell me stuff I don't need?
Or are they influencing my choices in ways that I'm not even aware of?
That's a valid concern.
It is, and Floridi's saying that we need to be really careful about how this predictive power is used.
We need transparency.
Yeah, like how do these algorithms actually work?
And we need control over our own data.
Right, like I should be able to say, hey, don't use my data for this.
Exactly.
It's not about banning targeted advertising or anything.
Right.
But it's about making sure it's used ethically.
And transparently.
So people have a choice.
Okay, so that's predictive power.
Right. And now for Floridi's final challenge,
The big one.
making AI make us more human.
Wait, how is that even possible?
I know, right? It sounds crazy.
Like, how can artificial intelligence make us more human?
That's what I thought too, but when you think about it, it's
Yeah.
not just about cold, hard logic and data.
Right, AI can be creative.
Yeah,
It can be used for empathy,
exactly, and connection.
human connection.
Instead of replacing human relationships.
AI could actually help us strengthen them.
That's the idea.
So instead of isolating us,
Yeah, like in those little digital bubbles
AI could actually help us connect,
on a deeper level.
more human level.
I like that.
Me too, it's hopeful.
It is. It's like using AI to amplify our best qualities.
Not our worst.
Exactly. To create a world where technology is actually helping us to flourish.
Instead of the other way around.
That's the goal.
It's a good goal.
You know, it's easy to get caught up in all the dystopian narratives about AI.
Right. Robots taking over.
Yeah, and algorithms controlling our every move.
It can be scary.
It can, but Floridi's framework is more hopeful.
More empowering.
It reminds us that we have a choice.
We can shape the future of AI.
In a way that benefits humanity.
That's a good reminder.
It is, and it's not just about preventing the worst-case scenarios.
It's about creating the best possible future.
With AI.
Exactly.
A future where AI is helping us solve problems.
Enhancing our creativity.
And deepening our connections with each other.
A future where technology serves us.
Not the other way around.
I like that.
Me too. That's a future I'm excited to be a part of building.
Me too. Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? Like, it's easy to talk about these challenges.
Right.
But how do we actually, do something about them?
Yeah, where do we even begin? It feels kind of overwhelming.
Well, I think the first step is awareness.
Okay.
Like, we need to educate ourselves and each other about AI.
About how it works.
Yeah, how it works, the good stuff, the bad stuff.
The potential impacts, both positive and negative.
Exactly.
So knowledge is power, basically.
Yeah, the more we understand AI,
The better decisions we can make.
about how it's developed, how it's used.
And it's not just about the technical stuff, right?
No, it's also about the ethical stuff.
The social implications.
The economic impacts.
Yeah, it's complex.
It is, and we need to be having these conversations.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. In our schools, our workplaces, our families.
Even at the dinner table.
Exactly. It's about fostering a culture of critical thinking.
Around AI. Yeah, not just blindly accepting whatever new tech comes along.
Right, because AI is powerful,
It is.
and we need to make sure it's used responsibly.
So awareness is the first step, but what comes next?
Well, beyond awareness, we need to be actively engaged.
Engaged in, shaping the future of AI.
Exactly.
Okay, so how do we do that?
We can support organizations
Organizations that are doing what?
that are working on ethical guidelines for AI,
Okay.
promoting responsible innovation,
Mhm.
advocating for policies that protect our interests.
So it's not just about talking about these issues.
Right. It's about taking action.
Supporting the people and organizations who are already working on this.
There are researchers, activists, policymakers, even artists and writers.
Wow, so there's a whole movement building around ethical AI.
There is, and that's what makes me hopeful.
Yeah, it's not just a few people in Silicon Valley making all the decisions.
Right. It's a global conversation.
And we all have a role to play.
Exactly. We're not just passively observing the rise of AI.
We're actively shaping it.
We have a voice.
We get to decide what kind of future we want to create with AI.
And that starts with each of us.
What do you mean?
We can choose to support companies that are developing AI ethically.
Okay, so do our research before we buy something.
Exactly. We can advocate for policies that protect our privacy.
Vote for politicians who care about these issues.
Right. And we can use our own voices
To speak out against harmful applications of AI.
to challenge the status quo
It's about making conscious choices.
in our everyday life.
Every time we interact with AI.
We're shaping its future.
Wow, that's powerful.
It is. We're not just consumers of AI
We're active participants.
in its evolution.
You know, I have to admit, at the beginning of this deep dive,
Yeah,
I was a little freaked out about AI.
I get it.
All the potential downsides, the risks.
It's easy to focus on the negative.
But now I'm feeling more hopeful.
I'm glad to hear that.
It's empowering to remember that we have agency.
We can shape this technology.
Make sure it's used for good.
That's the goal.
And it's not just about avoiding the worst-case scenarios.
It's about creating the best possible future.
A future where AI is helping us, not hurting us.
A future where technology serves humanity.
That's a future I want to be a part of.
Me too.
Thanks for guiding me through this deep dive.
Of course, my pleasure.
It's given me a lot to think about and a lot of hope.
That's what I was hoping for.
Remember, everyone, the future of AI is not predetermined.
It's up to us to shape it.
So let's work together to create a future where AI benefits all of humanity.
That's a great message to end on.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Until next time.